just going back to, what age were you when you started playing, mate?
I started piano when I was a little kid. I think I was 4 or 5, and did that for about 4 or 5 years, and was playing in mostly Mozart concerts at the Opera House and things like that, both my sister and I. Gave that up.
Gave that up?
Yeah, had enough, and had a little bit of a bad experience towards the end of my time. I didn't learn to read music until the final year of learning to play piano. I went to a different teacher. And learned to read music, and all that time was listening to Elvis, Cliff Richard, The Shadows, Rolling Stones, you know, Beatles, all that stuff. Loved it all. Clapton, Dire Straits. So guitar was always there, and that's what I would listen to.
But you were playing it on piano?
But I would play classical pieces on piano.
Okay.
And
so what age did you make that conversion?
About 11.
About 11.
I think, yeah, just as I was going into high school.
Did you see someone play guitar, or what?
I saw people play guitar all the time on TV, televised concerts, all that stuff.
You're like, wondering why
am I playing
piano?
Because keyboard player, I don't even see keyboard on the stage. And usually they're, you know, if they're in a guitar band, they're up the back. There's no lights on them, or I just didn't notice it. Guitar, I was really into. I thought it looked really exciting, and I had no frame of reference to it. It was totally different. You know, it wasn't this big thing you were stuck behind. You know, it's over your shoulder, and you're mobile, and you could move. You know, I mean, Hank Marvin and those guys, they did that daggy dancing, but it was still moving. You know, and later rock bands. You know, it was just so great. You know, it felt really immediate. And
well, it sounds like you've done quite a few gigs, man.
Done a few. Yeah.
Do any of the gigs over the last, you know, well, in your history of playing, stand out as being an exceptional gig for any particular reason? Or when you're talking to someone, do you say, hey, that was my favourite gig?
No, I don't have favourites. I have ones that are maybe more satisfying than others. Either it's a really big challenge to learn a whole lot of repertoire in a very short space of time, because I really don't like using music. If I'm playing original music, I figure, you know, the music doesn't live on the page, it's in the doing. And yeah, you know, I've been called up with 2 days notice and had to learn 16 songs or something like that.
I've noticed that. And
you just do it because that's what I think it's really great to be able to do that. You know, it's good.
I think it's excellent, man.
Keeps your brain active, and you just get better at it the more you do it. You know, maybe there's a little cheat sheet, you know, I'll write down, hey, it's this feel in this key, and I know, oh, okay, it's going to be this vocabulary, you know. So yeah, I get more satisfaction maybe than, hey, that gig was awesome, that gig wasn't so great. I stopped thinking about that and judging them in that way a long time ago, more for my own health. You know,
have there
stay
been
positive all the time.
Any inspirational Australian musicians that you've worked with that you've thought, wow, you've walked away from the gig and thought, hey, that guy was just over the top?
The ones I've seen, I've been in unique positions to see. I haven't actually gotten to play with them so much. They've, you know, over the years, there've been a few jam sessions in Sydney, some underground ones. So, you know, I've gotten to just jam, you know, in the most social, relaxed setting. You know, people like Jimmy Barnes and those guys. Those guys are just...
Never ever played with you?
Never played with him before. Never played with him since. Okay. Love to be in his band, but he's got an immaculate band. His band is made up of incredible players.
Great.
So, but it was fun to be sitting 3 meters away from him and cop the full force of the vocals.
Fantastic.
But yeah, there's heaps of people around town, touring guys. You know, I hung out with Clapton's band when he was out last. You know, Derek Trucks and Doyle Bramwell. Those guys were phenomenal players and really lovely guys. Beyonce's band when she was out year before last. You know, jamming at little closed nightclub until 5 in the morning or something like that.
Whereabouts was that?
In the Cross.
Okay.
Yeah.
After the gig. And you just happened to be there, or did you get told
I happened to be there, and it was mentioned that they might come by, and you know, they often say they might come by, and they don't, but they did, and they're often itching to play. You know, they're touring the same songs for a year or 2 years or something like that. They just want to play, they want to hang out. So we've got to do that. So that's a lot of fun. You know?
Fantastic.
Okay, there's one that we've messed around on a few times before, Reminiscing.
Reminiscing.
Everyone probably knows that one. It's a pop tune, you know, it's a little different, so trying to make the most of that introduction. You know, everybody knows it and it's really common, so it sounds weird to me anyway if someone all of a sudden just kicks in at the verse. You know, it needs the intro to set that tune up. So I tried to make it work pretty much.
With one guitar.
With, well, yeah, one guitar. So
there you go.
Here it is, for better or worse.
There you go. So Adrian, just to finish off this interview, and for the people at home listening, can you give us a quick rundown of what sort of touring rig, what sort of guitars you use, or on a general everyday mission of getting out there and playing with bands and stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're talking about acoustic stuff, so
acoustic stuff, yep.
Pretty much you take as little as possible because of weight restrictions. Maybe you're lucky and you've got your Qantas frequent, you know, your Qantas club membership, you get a little bit more weight, but most of us mere mortals, you know, we've got to kind of cut it down a little bit. So I take as little as possible, pretty much.
An acoustic?
Yeah, acoustic, obviously, you know, that's going to get checked. I've got like a little Peterson tuner that I love, awesome tuner. It's also a DI. Okay. So if, you know, if the DI at the venue's on the blink or isn't so great or whatever, you know, as a last resort, the B option, I can turn my tuner into and use it as a DI. And at a bare minimum, those are the two things: my tuner, guitar. That's it.
That's a great way to travel. Great way to travel. Amplifier, you normally go through the system and fold back? Or?
Yeah. I've recently put together a bit more of a touring thing. Haven't debuted it yet, but I've got, you know, just a nice little single rack preamp and an old single rack effects unit that I've sort of what's the word? Can't think of it. Put into use again, and put that in a two rack thing. So I'll take that as a
pedals that you've brought back out from.
Yeah, well, one's an old Rain AP13. They made two acoustic preamps.
Yes.
The big one is overkill for what I need. The single rack space one is 2-channel. It's got graphic EQ and all that sort of stuff. Totally over the top connections and so on. And then just run a little Rocktron IntelliFX through it because I've had it for ages. They're about $80 on eBay, I think, at the moment. Pretty cheap. So if it breaks, I can replace it. And yeah, that's going to be the next thing that I take out. So basically the front of house guy is going to get the correct sound, you know, and it's going to be up to them to then finish it off.
I'd love to get you back onto the show because I was speaking to Andre the other day and he was telling me you have a massive electric touring rig, he says, so we're just waiting for you to finish off getting that all together. Hopefully I can bring it in one day and yeah, and we'd love to run through it. What I'm going to actually do is pick out a couple of songs and get you to play the solos in them and show us how you get the sounds. Sure. Anyway, once again, Adrian, thank you very much for coming on down.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Please do give us a bit of an example. Pick up the guitar and let's hear you play a couple of tunes. Fantastic, Adrian.